Okay, guys, in this lesson, we're still taking a look at multi-step equations, but we're going to be given word problems and writing the equation and then solving. So real life situations can be written as equations. To translate a situation into an equation, we're going to identify a formula and then define each element of the situation using one type of variable. Then once we establish an expression for each element, then we're going to plug each value or expression into the formula to create our equation. And then lastly, we will apply the algebraic properties to solve the equation to answer the questions. Okay, the rectangle has a perimeter of 86. So we're talking about a rectangle, the perimeter. So sometimes if you want to draw a shape, if it's given to you, that might be helpful. Perimeter is adding all sides. So we have 2 lengths and 2 widths. The length is 3 more than 4 times the width. Determine the actual length and width of the rectangle. So our formula is going to be, we have 2 lengths plus 2 widths, and this equals our perimeter of 86 for this situation. So that's the formula. Now in your formula, we can have different variables. This is the part where we can only have one type of variable, and usually I use x. The length is 3 more than 4 times the width. So first of all, we have a more than, a flip-flop, and it tells us a little bit about the length, but nothing about the width. So I'm going to let the thing I know nothing about be my variable. So let's let width be x. Now let's take this x to create our length expression. The length is 3 more than, so the plus 3 goes to the back, 4 times the width, which is x, so 4x. We have our formula, we have our elements, and now we're going to plug in the elements into the formula to create the equation. So we have 2 lengths, and yes, we need parentheses, plus 2 widths equals 86. So now we have the equation. We're going to apply our algebraic properties, our mathematical properties. We're going to distribute, and we get 8x plus 6 plus 2 times x equals 86. We're going to combine like terms. We are going to now isolate x, which is width. We're going to subtract 6 from both sides. We are going to undo multiplication by division. And we have isolated x to equal 8. So the width is 8. So we can say this is 8 and this is 8. And then the length is 4 times 8 plus 3. So we are evaluating. So we get 4 times 8 is 32 plus 3 equals 35. And if we were to add these 4 sides together, we would get the 86 for the perimeter. Let's look at another example. Josh is 6 more than, 3 times as old as Callie. Together, their age totals 54. How old is each person? So our formula comes from this part right here. So I'm going to say Josh plus Callie equals 54, because together they equal 54. Now, let's establish an expression for Josh and one for Callie. I'm going to be using x for my unknown. I know a little bit about Josh. Josh is 6 more than 3 times as old as Callie. I know nothing about Callie, So I'm going to let Callie be X, and I'm going to use this X to write Josh's expression. 6 more than, so we're going to flip-flop this around. The 6 will go to the back, and the 3 times will come to the front, 3 times Callie. Now we have an element. We have established an expression for each element of our formula, so now we're going to substitute in. For J, for Josh, we're going to use 3x plus 6 plus Callie, which is x, equals 54. This formula really helps make sure that I don't miss part of my equation. Let's combine our like terms. 3x plus 1x, which is 4x, plus 6 equals 54. Now let's isolate x to see how old Callie is. So we're going to undo plus 6 by subtracting 6. And we get 54 minus 6. And then we're going to divide each side by 4 to isolate the x. X is 12. So Callie is 12. Josh is 3 times 12 plus 6. 3 times 12 is 36 plus 6. And that gives us an age of 42. And we can see 42 plus 12 does add to 54. Okay, now you do the next problems. Make sure you establish a formula and each component is an expression or a value, and then plug in to your formula to create the equation. Make sure you check the answer key once you submit your answers and make any corrections needed before going on to the concept check.